This might actually be one of the best engines in the game right now. What is up, guys? This is Tcg Sam here, and in today's video I'm coming at you guys with a discussion on Nadir's Servant and the Dogmatica engine and why I think it actually has so much potential in today's game, having just come off the ban list of 3. So to start things off, we're always going to talk about what does the card actually do. So it's a normal spell card that reads send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add one Dogmatica monster or Fallen of Albaz from your deck or graveyard to your hand that has attack less than or equal to that sent monsters in the graveyard. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, and you can only activate one Nadir Servant per turn. So, as with all search cards, it's only as good as the targets it can search. So first, right off the bat, we're going to be talking about what monsters you can actually search with the Nadir Servant, and those are going to be probably these 3. Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous, Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted, and Dogmatica Maximus. So the most commonly seen one is going to be Dogmatica Ecclesia, which essentially if you control a monster special summon from the, or if there's a monster special summon from the extra deck on the field, you can special summon it from your hand and then activate its effect to add any Dogmatica card from your deck to your hand, and you cannot special summon for the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So Ecclesia is probably going to be adding Fleur-de-Lis or Maximus. Fleur-de-Lis' effect reads, if there's a monster special summon from the extra deck that's on the field, well, you can special summon it from your hand, and if you control another Dogmatica, when you summon it, you can negate one monster's effect on the field. And then Dogmatica Maximus' effect is you can banish one Fusion Synchro or XY0 Link monster from your grave to special summon it from your hand, and during your main phase, you can send any 2 extra deck monsters with different names from your extra deck to the grave and force your opponent to do the same. So essentially all of them have great effects that give you extension onto the field, as well as monsters that have great effects. So Ecclesia searches either an extra disruption or a further combo extender by sending cards from your extra deck to the graveyard. Or it searches, for example, the Dogmatica trap card, Dogmatica Punishment, which can destroy up to 2 monsters your opponent controls if you send a card like Elder Entity Entis from your extra deck to the grave. So while the main deck monsters are great, you get a potential imperm plus like 2 bodies on the board, or you get like extra extension by sending stuff from the extra deck to the grave. Where this engine truly shines is in the extra deck monsters that it can send to the graveyard. So right off the bat, the very first one that comes to mind is Elder Entity Entis. Being able to send this to the graveyard just means that you're able to destroy any card on the field for free. So that can force a card when you're going second, force one of your opponent's interruptions, or can clear out one of your opponent's threats on the board. It's just a great card because it also always has 2500 attack, which means you're able to add any one of these monsters from your deck to your hand. And it's just great because, for example, if you add Maximus, it just gives you a monster to banish right away. So Elder Entity Entis is probably the one you're going to be seeing the most. It's definitely great going second, and it works very well with Dogmatica Punishment because it lets you destroy another card on the field. But what if you're going first? What are some of the best targets you can actually send when going first? And this is where I think this truly sets this engine apart from other engines out there. You can send a card like El Shadal Apclone. El Shadal Apclone, when it's sent to the grave, can allow you to add a Shadal spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and then send a card from your hand to the graveyard. So right away, if you're playing a deck with dark monsters, you can add Shadal Schism, discard any dark monster, and then now you have an Apclone plus a dark monster and a Schism, which now can send any dark monster on the field when it summons Winda. So puts up Winda in addition, like that's not even mentioning like the interruption that you get off of just Ecclesia and Fleur-de-Lis. No, you get additional interruption with the Apclone and the Schism as well. But if you don't want to play those extra deck cards like Apclone or Winda and the main deck brick like Schism, you can absolutely just play Garura, Wings of Resonant Life. Garura has a very simple effect. When it's sent to the grave, you just draw a card, essentially turning a Nadir Servant into Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. Because you get to search a card, and then you get to draw a card off of the Garura. Since Garura only has 1500 attack, you're only able to add Maximus or Ecclesia, but most of the time, just adding Ecclesia and then Ecclesia adding you like whatever you wanted to search, so like Punishment or Fleur-de-Lis anyways, is more than good enough. So Garura can just also be one of those generic extra deck monsters that you can put in your extra deck to take full advantage of Nadir Servant's quote-unquote cost. So overall, Nadir Servant is able to make the most out of your extra deck resources. So you get interruption with Schism, you get a removal with Entis, or you get a plus with Garura if you don't want to play a bigger engine, which is honestly more than enough. And the things you're searching aren't like bad either. Ecclesia itself is a special summon extender. Fleur-de-lis is an extender as well, so even if you hard draw them, they're not really bricks, because if you control a monster summon for the extra deck, you can just special summon it from your hand as an extender. If you somehow get them into the graveyard, you can still use Nadir Servant to add them back. So again and again, you can essentially keep using Nadir Servant. It's never dead. The only time it's dead is when you start having things to send from your extra deck to the grave. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts on Nadir Servant. Let me know what you think of this engine in the comment section below. Would you play it in your deck? And let me know what decks you're trying this out in. Overall, Nadir Servant, definitely super generic. You can make this, you can activate it after you make all of your extra deck plays. Or for example, if you send like the app clone, you can actually play on your opponent's turn with the extra deck, so it doesn't, the extra deck lock is never really that important, because all of them just restrict you for the rest of the turn. If you summoned earlier from the extra deck, you can still use them, which makes them really powerful. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick discussion on Nadir Servant, and I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.